As you can see, I finally got my hair done, did. So I had to make it for what the time I missed this morning, I had to make it for that. So running a little behind. So this is David, where I talk about improving your health, wellness, and fitness by working on your body, mind, and spirit, balancing the triad. So I want to kind of continue a little trend that I started last week, and that's what today's topic is: finding that white space. So last week I kind of did a couple of videos about the idea of finding a little bit of time for yourself and doesn't need a whole lot. So, but the truth is we all do need time to kind of question, ponder, ask ourselves some questions, think about things, process, variety of aspects in there. It's important to do that. But for some people, they can be on the go, 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 and they think they need to extend this big block of time to be able to do that. Now, absolutely, that can be really beneficial. 30 minutes an hour can be absolutely beneficial, but it doesn't have to take that. Sometimes it's just find that little bit of white space. White space is what one of my teachers called for instructing with clients. Sometimes we have to make sure we're not always talking so much, and sometimes we have to learn to pause and give the client that white space for them to think about it. So this goes right in with what we talked about last week, and that was getting those little moments throughout the day here and there to just ground yourself, take a chance, and take a breath. And sometimes that's all it takes is just a breath, and that can be enough of a white space for you to ponder. Let's give you a little more than that. You can use those little breaths throughout the day to say, okay, let me take a breath, center, ground myself, ground myself, and then I can think about ponder what it is I need to do. Now, the thing is, a lot of people don't like to be alone with their own thoughts. And if that's the case, that's all the more reason that you need to be alone with your own thoughts. And I think I've talked about this before in some past videos, is one of the challenges, and I did present as a challenge to some of my health students, was to drive with the radio off. Because most people, as soon as they got in the vehicle, either it's already on or they start and drive they need the music, they need the background, they need the distraction. The question is, why do you need distraction? What's the reason for it? Instead, you can use either those quiet times where you're taking a breath before you get going in your vehicle, before you park and before you leave the vehicle, or as you're driving. Use that as a chance to ponder. Let your mind wander itself. Ask yourself some questions. Now, this isn't the time to beat yourself up and be negative to yourself. Instead, it's just a chance to ask yourself some questions, ponder what's going on, process what's taking place. Since we are talking about health, wellness, and fitness, your body, mind, spirit, it's like, okay, I need to do an exercise program. What can I do? What do I want to do? What do I want to think about? You can ponder a question, ponder and say, okay, do you want to do weight training? Do you want to do cycling? Do you want to do running? Do you want to walk? Great place to start. Kind of ask yourself those questions there. So some of the little white spaces is, as we talked about before, it can be just those little pauses when you catch yourself. Take a breath. Take a breath, ponder a question. You got 30 seconds, you take 30 seconds. You got 5 minutes, you do it. If you want to even set a timer on your phone or your watch, set a timer for 5 minutes. That way you can contemplate. Once it's done, it's over with, it's gone. You're finished for that moment. And then maybe you can pick it up later. But if you can get the chance to do some pondering, the white space for yourself, a little buffer around everything that's around you. If you have to, sometimes it's in the bathroom. But again, big one is when you're driving somewhere, do it with, it can be difficult sometimes if you have conversations with, you're riding with someone, but if you're by yourself, turn the radio off. Allow yourself some time to think. When I'm driving, because I've driven up from Northern California above Sacramento all the way down to Bakersfield with nothing, no music, just me pondering. I ride the motorcycle. I don't want people can put they can put speakers on the road. They can put the Bluetooth in the device. I say, listen, don't want that. I like the silence, and I did have to learn that. I will be up and on. I had to learn to deal with the silence, and then after that, I realized I appreciate the time to think, and I appreciate the time to ponder things and wonder what's going on. I know my brother-in-law, when I was talking to him one time, he learned to do that. He'd be driving to work and he'd turn the music off and he gets the time to think about things on his way to work. What's going on? What take place here? He gets the chance to time to think. But yeah, find that white space around you. It's a little buffer. Start with just those breaths just before you start up your vehicle. If you start up, it's warming up. Do it then. Before you leave the vehicle, same thing there. Break time. If you're in the bathroom, you finish up there. You can even just wash your hands. Look in the mirror. Take those little moments there for break time to center and ground yourself. And from that point there, figure out what are the white space you can give yourself, a little buffer zone to give yourself some time. And you got to consciously want to do it. You have to want to think. You have to want to process. You have to want to ask yourself some questions. Doesn't mean you're always going to like what comes up. That's part of the journey. And that's like with one of the main things when you start your health wellness business, you got to figure out what is it you want? What is it you're looking for? So that's one of those things you can question yourself. You can ask yourself, you can ponder. Okay, I know I don't like my physique. I know I'm not real happy with it. But what is it I would like? What's that end goal going to look like? It's one thing you want to focus on the end goal, and I won't. That's a whole other topic. But allow yourself some of that white space where even maybe as you just up in the morning, you just get up in the morning, you turn your alarm off, sit there, set a timer for 5 minutes. How do I want my day to go? Maybe at lunchtime. Okay, how would I like the rest of the day to go? How would I like this project to work? I'm working on to go through. Just before you work out, what's the way I want this workout to go? How do I want to feel? What's the process going to do? How am I going to go through and do it? So if you got the time, you can set aside the block time of 30 minutes to hour minutes, great. Go for a walk, ponder the entire time, great. But if not, take those few moments here and there, and you can start with just the breath and allow yourself that white space, a little space, just a little buffer around you to ponder, think, question yourself. You can get a lot of benefit out of it as long as you're willing to go through. Now, again, up front, for a lot of people, it's a challenge. Being alone with your own thoughts. You got to be alone with yourself. But keep going with it. Keep pushing with it. Start with a minute. Start with 30 seconds. Start with a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Work it up. And then after a while, I think you'll appreciate it. You'll learn to, like I have, to really understand how much you can get out of it. And there are absolutely times when I've said, okay, I got something I would kind of like to ponder, and it doesn't happen. My mind wanders in a completely different direction. No, that's okay. It's fine with it. But have some fun with that. Learn to get the white space. And those questions to ponder, in the description, you'll find a link to my free Facebook group. And I got some training there. You can start off with the Health and Wellness Your Way, which I give you a variety of questions to ponder, to ask yourself as you're going down this road. All right. So have yourself a wonderful Monday. I will catch you tomorrow. So take care and balance into you. Bye-bye.